Now, of course, we can't let today's show end without talking about one of the funniest media controversies currently roiling the interwebs. And I'm, of course, talking about Joy Ann Reid of MSNBC and the saga of her 2005 era blog being hacked by persons unknown to apparently make her seem more homophobic than what she's already admitted to.
It was Killer Michael. Killer Michael did it. And we want to, before we start the segment, we want to be clear. We are...
Oh, let me be clear.
Let me be clear. Joanne Reid insulted me as a gay man. No, we're the last people who ever want people like fired for bad posts. We're very much against that. Our whole hook on this is that it's insanely funny.
Well, we don't care, nor should you, whether Joy Ann Reid has a job at MSNBC. You know, she's a weekend cable news host on a shitty cable news network, like watched by your parents. So
more people would watch Joanne Reid if she moved into the Phase House as a pro gamer. Like 10 times more people would see her.
Like it's of no consequence to me whatsoever whether she keeps her job or not. And if anything, I don't think MSNBC actually should fire her for this.
I'm just anti-firing people for
but
this stuff.
It's funny, of course, because Joy Ann Reid and many of her prominent defenders now online have made a sort of a name for themselves over the last year or two of trying to do exactly that. If not get people fired, to elevate comments made by the followers of a politician or a political movement on Twitter to be a stand-in for that entire political movement and make that like the issue of the day is, again, bad posts and ignorant comments on social media, which I think is stupid. And I'll be consistent here and I'll say I think it's stupid in this case too. However, it is still incredibly funny. Yeah, and that's why it's worth talking about.
Let's start out with the funniest thing we saw. Joan Wick.
Joan Wick. I don't know if you guys saw it this morning, but Joan Walsh of Salon.com got into it with Glenn Greenwald. And Glenn was attempting to sort of like nail down, because Joan was saying, I've known Joy for years and years and years. I published her on Salon before she was famous, and I used to read her blog, and like I never had any hint that she harbored these homophobic beliefs, or I never saw the posts in question. And Greenwald was questioning her on this. And Joan responds, "What do you think I'm saying, Glenn? What's so hard for you to understand? Of course I did not see any tweets of the kind back when I was reading her blog. What are you asking? You don't really want me to turn against you, Glenn. Trust me, you don't."
Glenn, don't do this to me. Don't make me do this.
The only thing I had left was an MSNBC weekend news show, and they took it from me. So when people are asking me if I'm back, yeah, I'm back.
They've been asking me, are you Black Irish? Well, guess what? I'm pretty fucking Black Irish now.
Listen up, Dimitri. There are only 2 white people on the polling station, and they're voting for Bernie. And then everyone else is black plus me.
So she says, you really don't want to turn me against you, Glenn. Trust me, you don't. And Glenn says, threatening me with B-movie mafia script for asking a sincere question about a line of reasoning you published is odd behavior for a journalist. I've been threatened by scarier people. Joan responds to that. It wasn't a threat, Glenn. It was a statement of fact.
Woo! Woo! I have a very certain set of skills. I can post, also post, and then call your boss. And then post. You do not want a man with my skills, a woman with my skills going against you. This is a statement of fact.
But yeah, no, I mean, I guess like what's interesting to me about the Joy Reid thing is just like how many people just really love and care about her show. Yeah. And I just like really feel like, I mean, I guess like, we all have, there are people who are fans of our podcast who may take it personally if we get attacked or whatever.
As they should.
Yeah, absolutely. They should lay down their lives for us. But I guess, a podcast weekend MSNBC show. I mean, again, hard to tell where to draw the line here.
All this shit is stupid. It's inconsequential. It doesn't affect anything. The people on the other side who are like, we need to get her out of there. It's like, you know what? First of all, the person they're going to put in that Joy Reid spot if they fire her will be like a guy who's Jordan Peterson's understudy or something because the boss of MSNBC is like a big conservative, or it will just be like another resistance person who sucks. It doesn't matter. And if more people would see it if you joined Dr. Disrespect's stream and cheered him 1,000 bits and said "US out of everywhere." Like significantly more people would be politically
Are
affected.
people actually calling for Joy-Ann Reid to lose her job?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot of the people, like, you know, the people who were her, you know, like, I guess, I mean, I have seen people demand that MSNBC fire her. To be honest, it seems now that if she does get fired, it won't be for any of these posts, which, like I said, did have the kind of casual homophobia that basically every liberal engaged in until about a year ago. But I think if she gets fired or loses her job, it'll be because of the ridiculous lie that her blog was hacked and that she apparently hired this guy named John Nichols, who is a Garland-esque fraud who purports to be a cybersecurity expert.
I have this. This is Mediaite. The self-declared, quotes, current cyber guy, former PSYOP guy, goes by the handle WVU Alpha Soldier on Twitter, where he posts a stream of self-serious, bizarre ramblings. After NBC released a statement regarding his work for Reid, however, Nichols deleted all of his account's old posts, went on a tweet storm declaring a lockdown of his account, and then placed it on protected mode so non-followers could not see his tweets.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm entering a cyber lock. This is the Cyber Alamo. Ma'am, Miss Reid, I will protect you.
So, like, and then the cybersecurity expert, John Nichols, was the guy who was issuing statements to the press on her behalf, you know, saying that he was part of the team that, like, reported to the FBI her blog being hacked or something. And again, it's like not beyond the realm of possibility that this could conceivably happen. It's just sort of like Occam's razor at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, what is the more convincing explanation here? Really?
Here's a little more about Nichols. Nichols, who calls himself, quote, an information operations soldier on his LinkedIn page, also claims his background is in military propaganda. In a sincerely tweet, he even touted his ties to the 2011 U.S. attack on Libya. Quote from him, "Nah, I'm a senior leader. I'm a senior psyoper. I find your civilian disruption to be cute. By the way, by way of example, I could have influenced the propaganda mission of Libya. I chose not to."
Wow, dude.
It seems like there is an inexhaustible supply of these guys who pretend to be spies online because they're good at the internet. Then, like, that is their claim to expertise, is doing comms or ops or something incredibly, like, opaque and ridiculous.
And they have the same concept of the internet as portrayed in the 1994 Sandra Bullock thriller The Net. We got into the mainframe.
Yeah, these are all guys who say, "I'm in." When they boot up Chrome and they're like, "I'm in."
They're Juice from Sons of Anarchy.
Okay, one last quote from him. He continued by saying he gave up on hacking his, quote, junior year of high school for vagina.
What?
What?
He gave up hacking for vagina.
I just, like, again,
That's so Dan Quinn. Like, I could have gone fucking varsity and then NFL and hacking. Then I started getting pussy. Have you ever seen a white boy get in the mainframe like this?
but imagine you're Joy Reid. And, okay, whether you did them or not, like, people are saying, like, oh, here are some more old blog clips where you're like, Brokeback Mountain? More like, no thank you, Mountain. Ooh. So what I find funny about this is, like, if you're Joy Reid, whether these things are true or not, like, someone has dug up these sort of casually homophobic, perhaps making too light of gay people or trans people.
It's tittering.
It's just sort of tittle tattle, snickering about, you know, gay sex or whatever.
Right, and that's really the thing. None of this would be a big deal if she had just said, "Yeah, I know, I that was wrong. I apologize. I've learned from that experience, and I'm good now." And everyone would have just forgotten about it. Some, like, wags would still bring it up every once in a while to dunk on her, but whatever, you just ignore that.
Well, all you could just say is, like, I believed as Hillary Clinton did at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the other thing is she can't do that because she, like all the other members of the liberal commentariat who are circling the wagons to defend her, they're also remorseless scolds who do the same thing, who would like to dig up someone's pre-woke period and so on, and as well try to get them fired.
Well, what I think is funny is if we're going to get into this arms race about pre-woke periods on social media, it does seem like the Scolds have a far worse pre-woke period than anyone that they're going after.
Probably, I mean, they have a longer
Because they tend to be older, more confused. You know,
Yeah, they've been posting on blogs for like 20 fucking years now.
Yeah. And well, the amazing thing is, they have suspended all disbelief, all critical thinking skills just to defend her. Some of them there's some rumblings that Russia was involved with this. Just whatever. Just defend Joy at all costs.
Well, I did
Joy
see,
Reid escort.
I did see. I think it was Charlie Pierce said, like, in the week that we find out about Hannity and all of his like the properties that he's flipping through HUD or whatever, or like other conservative media figures are getting dinged, or the Mueller report. Oh, now Joy Reid, one of our most important voices,
this important person who has an audience.
Coincidence?
That's definitely smaller than
fucking
ours.
dolt.
And it's like,
Fucking dolt.
Well, this is
what? That's the conspiracy. That's the person they take down is Joanne Reid. It's not Maddow, who's like way higher rated.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. Holy shit, dude. Is there ether in that newsboy cap he wears? What the fuck?
Charles Pierce, I remember really
He
liking.
has some good articles, man. He has some good articles. That George Zimmerman acquittal post he wrote was great. He has some great articles.
I don't know, but the point is, like,
dumb,
the point is, like,
it's dumb.
We've now, it's all dumb, but like people are so dug into their positions now that if you are Joy Reid or her defenders, you can't just be like, look, it was bad. I believe differently now. I realize that like these things are hurtful and I shouldn't joke about them.
Well,
or you can hire John Nichols, cybersecurity hacker, to claim that the internet wayback machine has been altered in some regard to like create fake screenshot. I mean,
what we have here is a classic tactical Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Miss Reid, I'm putting on my fingerless hacking gloves. Have you ever noticed that the spelling of the Berenstein Bears is different than how you remember it?
And it's a tremendous self-own. It's nearing Eichenwald levels of self-own, frankly,
Yeah.
because it's literally the Carl Diggler defense that he would use whenever he was caught sending DMs to Susan Collins at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And none of these, and that's the thing. I mean, the hypocrisy is just obvious, and Glenn is just like kind of patiently, wading through it and piecing it together in this reporter tone. But you don't even need that to see how ludicrous it is, because absolutely none of if this happened to Eric Erickson, who said, "Yeah, I was hacked to make me really racist for my entire life," no one would believe
Yeah,
that.
everyone would laugh at him. There wouldn't be. I love the identical posts from people from like Jeffrey Toobin and like everyone in the CNN
Is the kindest, warmest, bravest person.
She's an important voice.
Yeah.
What?
Did you see Joe Conason, the Clinton's official biographer, said, "Hands off Joanne Reid, punks."
critical support for Joanne Reid.
So, again, what's the lesson to be learned here? Mostly nothing.
No.
But it could just be
none
like,
of you will remember this in a week.
Or I mean, just the people in the media who care deeply about cable news are funny. Most of them are pretty dumb. But if maybe we could just take this as a lesson to like maybe sort of like do a like arms control when it comes to people's dumb or slightly offensive posts on social media.
It won't happen.
No.
Nah.
Well, that's the problem is
yeah.
that's what the point I made about this is that all these people are in a terrible bind because there's no way that they can make a honest and like, true defense of Joy Reid without disarming their, greatest weapon against the cursed Bernie bro, which is,
How dare you?
yeah, exactly.
Though I do want to say there is maybe one other lesson, and I was doing some cyber security research recently, and did you know that a hacker or perhaps a group of hackers have inserted some problematic things in the archives of this show?
What?
Oh, no.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
They can
yeah.
imitate our voices?
There was some. Yeah, they had the voices perfectly. There were a few, off-color jokes. They even did digital manipulation in Hollywood.
I've talked to my cybersecurity expert, USMC cyber sniper. He told me that Russians have found a way to imitate American mispronunciations and insert them into my audio tracks
Jesus,
to embarrass me.
That's devious.
Yeah. Well,
Well, I mean, there's nothing we can do about it now. Just
yeah.
rest assured that if we've ever said or done anything on the podcast or on Twitter that you find offensive or bad, it wasn't us.